Hello and welcome. Today's video is based off another video, one of my most popular videos actually, called The Anatomy of the Subtle Body. I'll pop a link up top so you can go find that if you want to. And it was actually a request by my new YouTube friend, Loon. Hi Loon. So this video is going to purposefully weave together the movement we do with our body, asana, yoga asana, with this undercurrent or underpinning of what's going on kind of beneath the physical. We would call this your subtle body or your energetic body. So the way I learned about the energetic body is to think of it like it's a blueprint upon which your physical body sits. In reality, the energy of the body goes beyond the physical form. It's not just inside it, but we're going to kind of look toward the inside and use our imagination and use some descriptors to try to bring these two things together a little bit more clearly. Now, the reality is that every time you practice yoga asana, whenever you move your body in a purposeful way and you're breathing consciously and trying to line up on this deeper level, you will impact your subtle or energetic body. Okay, enough on that description now. We're going to start lying down, and you can lie down with your knees bent. You know, in the backdrop of yoga philosophy, that's kind of where this comes from. It's said that spirit is all. There's nothing that is not spirit. In other words, the physical body is alive with the energy of consciousness or spirit or God, whatever your word for that is. So one way I've heard it said is that when we are born, spirit breathes us into existence. And she continues to breathe us our entire life. So while we practice today with this aim of meeting the inner body, the subtle body, I'm going to cue you from the breath first. So right now, just begin to tune into your breathing, just noticing what is it doing when you don't try anything at all. So as we start to move, we're going to try to start the breath first and follow with the movement. Now, this movement that we're going to make is a pelvic rocking. So you're going to begin by inhaling, and as you inhale, you're going to tilt your pelvis so that your low back lifts off the floor and your pubic bone moves between your legs, so you're kind of arching your back. Then as you exhale, you're going to go the opposite way. So you're going to drop your back toward the floor. You're rounding your back a little and your tail gets lighter. You're not rolling up. You're just rocking your pelvis. So let's practice this a few times. Inhale, tilt. And you're trying to time the movement and the breath so that those two things happen kind of concurrently. Maybe the breath just slightly leaning. And then exhale, tuck. Relax your shoulders and relax your neck and your head. Your head's going to kind of bob along with this movement. So as you tilt on the inhale, your chin will tuck in and your back neck will lengthen. And when you exhale and you tuck your pelvis, your chin will lift a little away from your chest and the back of your neck will get a little bit more of a curve. So we're doing this because the natural movements of the universe, according to yoga philosophy, are a pulsation or a flow. And we're just letting that flow start to move up and down the spine from the direction of the pelvis. So now I want you to find like a neutral middle position, not tucking, not tilting, the middle. Once you have that, pick up your legs, hold your knees with your hands, and then continue with this movement. Go back to it and just let your knees move with the movement of the pelvis. Exhale, tuck, knees come in. Inhale, arch, knees push away. Again, allowing for the movement to affect more of the body so that we can start to impact more of these subtle currents throughout the whole body. When you exhale and you draw the knees in, you're going to hold there, whatever's comfortable for your knees, together, apart, whatever, and then just breathe in this position. So we don't always have to move in a pulsation way. I mean, things are always moving within us. Cells are bumping around in there. But sometimes we can consciously do so to get the currents of energy flowing in the body. So you're going to sit up now, however you want. And my suggestion is that when you sit, you can sit cross-legged or with your knees and feet tucked under you. You want to have your knees at or below the rim of your pelvis. I'm going to lift up on a little blanket to make that easier. And what that's going to do is going to make it easier to stack your spine. So see if you can find in your inner awareness, your inner eye, the dome of your skull, and try to put that directly over the bowl of your pelvis, right? So we're aligning this core thread of energy we call it the spine in layman's terms, right? But energetically, the sushumna nadi, this current of energy that kundalini shakti rises up, it's the spine. So if you can sit up straight, you're unkinking that hose, if you will, to let the energy flow naturally. So sitting upright like this, we're going to move the hands now to help visualize what the energy is doing. So as we inhale, we're going to pull up with the hands like we're picking energy up and drawing it towards the head. And as we exhale, we're going to push down with the palms. Now, you don't have to move your hands like this, but it's going to help you get in touch with this current that's always pulsating within us. Inhale, rising, expanding, opening. Exhaling, it's a downward or grounding current of energy, contracting, drawing in. So now open the arms wide, inhale and take them overhead. So same idea, just a bigger movement. Exhale, sweep them apart and down, staying in that plumb line where head is over hips. Let's do one more of these. Inhale and reach. Just letting the breath move through you, letting yourself be breathed. Exhale, hands come down. Now we're going to lean to the right. And we're going to take that left arm up in the sky. Now, this time we're going to rotate in our pulsation. So open to the left or twisting a little bit to the left. You can even turn your gaze over that way. And then as you exhale, you're going to face back forward and even twist around to the right and draw the left hand down toward the ground across your body. So we'll do this a few times. Inhale, open. Twisting left. Exhale, close. Twisting right. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Last time. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Sweep that left arm into a circle. Grab the top of your skull. Pick yourself up. Your right hand's going to leave the ground and you're going to tip your head over to the left. With your right hand, raise your arm to shoulder height. Push the palm of your hand out like you're saying no or stopping a car in traffic. Just spread through the palm. Open the palms nice and wide. So these chakras or energy centers are key nexuses in this energetic body. And there's one in each hand, one in each foot. So as you open your palm, take a breath, feeling the expansion. As you exhale, feeling that contraction. On the in-breath, you're going to release your head and the left arm and just tip on over to the left as you exhale. Inhale the right arm overhead. And again, we're going to do kind of a twisting, wrapping pulsation. So you're going to roll open and your top arm is going to kind of go back behind the plane of where you're sitting. And then as you exhale, you're going to twist a little more towards the floor and you're going to bring that right arm across and down towards your left knee. So inhale, roll open, look over and up to the right. Exhale, twist. Remember, we're trying to let the breath lead the way so that we're giving deference to the inner body. Inhale first, roll open and finish that movement as the inhale ends. Pausing full of breath. Exhale and then contract and twist down and to the left. This will be the last one now. You inhale, open. Exhale, close. Roll yourself upright, pick up your head, take your right hand over the top of your head to grab near your left ear, tip your head over to the right, and raise the left hand. Open the palm, pushing the center of your palm away from your shoulder. So you're bending at the wrist and showing your palm to the wall on your left there, or whatever's over on your left. Just allowing that whole chain from the center of your hand all the way up into your neck by your ear to open. And then you just observe your breath, making this more intimate of a connection with yourself. And then inhale and release. Exhale, release the hands. From here, move yourself to all fours and return to this movement from the pelvis that we started with on the back. So typically we call this cat and cow, but I want you to move it from your hips and the breath. So as you inhale, you're going to tip your tail up, your belly will go down, and then you arch your back and you lift your chin and look forward. And now exhale. Tuck the tail, round the back, and push the floor down with open palms. Inhale, pelvis, spine, head moves. Exhale, tailbone, low back, chest, head. Back and forth, 1 or 2 more times. We're just waking up the breath and waking up the energy with some little bit of pulsation movements. Now the next pose, I'm going to give you 2 choices. You're either going to choose puppy pose or dog pose. So dog pose on your knees is puppy pose. I want it to be a pose that you can hold for like a solid minute. So decide for yourself. And then I want you to set up the pose as best you can, whatever your knowledge of the alignment is. And see if you can get your spine in that kind of straight line. In other words, your head is in line with your neck, is in line with your chest, is in line with your low back, is in line with your hips. And then you're going to picture your body in your mind's eye. This is where visualization begins to help. Like it's a container for the prana, the energy, the currents of energy that feed the subtle body. And as you breathe, as you are breathed, the breath comes in and it fills the cavity of the chest. I mean, really, it's just filling the lungs, but just picture that your whole torso is holding this vitality. And maybe you pause for a brief moment while you're full of the breath in. And when you exhale, you let the breath go, but you don't let the energy go. You're not releasing the prana, you're retaining the prana. So breathe a few times like this. Try to hold still, just inhaling. And maybe you picture that this chi or prana is coming in as a color. Is it white? Is it green? Is it pink? You're pausing while full of breath, aware that it's circulating in your system without you really trying. And then as you exhale, the breath goes, but the prana remains, the vitality remains. Let's do 3 more breaths. Just try to hold still and see if you can invite the light to go any corners of your body or yourself, your being that feel a little bit dark or restricted or stuck. You're going to begin to transition when that breath is done to a standing forward fold. So if you're a little tighter in your legs, take your feet wider apart. If you're a little bit more limber in your legs and back, just bring your feet closer together. Release the weight of your arms. You can go palms up or palms down. You can hold your toes, your calves, whatever you want. And let's take a soft bend in the knees for right now. And just kind of allow weight to drop into the feet, like your feet are heavy on the ground. Spine is heavy, just hanging down. Breathing and allowing the legs to stretch, the feet stretch. Aware of the breath, aware of the body. Now, to stand, today we're going to roll up. Sometimes we come up with a flat back. So bend your knees more. Keep your head and arms dangling. Drop your tail. Round up through your spine. Try to bring your head up last. Knees still bent, just really tucking the tail down, pulling the belly in, rolling up. Slow, slow, slow. Arms dangling by your sides until you can bring your head up last. It's also going to help you to not get dizzy if you come up slowly. And just as we did when we were sitting, we're going to picture a plumb line, a straight vertical line, where the head is over the hips, is over the center point between the feet or ankles. So typically we shift forward. That's most people's pattern, is that the pelvis goes forward more in line with the toes. And we've lost that open channel of energy between sky and earth. So just check that you have your hips back in space. If you had a mirror or like a seam on your pants, what you would want to see is that the center of your thigh is over the center of your ankle. It's not in front by your toes. And then once you have that, you may have to draw your tail down a little bit to help support you. And then the whole spine sits above that. Slide the throat back, slide the head back, head over hips, over ankles. Then roll the shoulders back. And just as we did when we were lying down, or sitting rather, we're going to inhale and pulse the arms up with the breath. We're going to stay standing, and we're going to exhale the arms down by the sides. So we're only going to do that one more time. We're just practicing standing up and creating this beautiful alignment for the energetic body to be in, so that that blueprint can help the physical body. They both work hand in hand. Exhale, arms down. At the bottom of that breath, you're just going to round forward in the opposite of how you came up. So you're going to round your spine. You're going to roll down. We often do it with straight arms and straight legs, and we're just opposite that today. A little round, 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 all the way until we touch the floor. And this time you're going to slide hands to shins, and when you breathe in, you're going to unfurl the spine, tilt the tail up, lengthen the head forward, and come up like you're about halfway from the floor. And then as you exhale, drop your hands to the top of your mat and step yourself back, either again to dog pose or to puppy pose. And go right back into presence of stillness. So we're not really flowing now. Now we're holding. Lift a little bit in the armpits so that the shoulders are buoyant, so that the channel of energy is not just the spine, but now it's including the arms to the palms. Breathe through your nose, making a little bit of a sighing sound as you breathe through your nose. Picturing again maybe the space, the shape, the color of light or energy coming in to the container of your body and going out. The prana staying behind. Okay, drop your knees. And then take a seat once more. And we're going to sit on the floor, not on something this time. And what I want you to do is take your right foot flat with your right knee up, and then your left foot's going to go underneath with that knee down towards the floor. So you're going to draw your ankles closer to one another, and you're going to realign your spine in that plumb line. On the in-breath, we sit up tall. Remember, the inhale is an expansion of the inner body. And then on the exhale, we're going to twist. Exhales are typically contractions. So as we twist around to the right, we're going to either wrap the elbow across in front of or over the knee, whatever is most comfortable for you or works with the size and shape of your body. Take your other hand behind you on the floor. use that as kind of a lever to help you sit up straight. Just keep sitting up straight. And when you twist, try to picture both halves, right and left sides of your body, twisting evenly. So the right side is long and wrapping around and back. And the left side from your left hip to your left armpit is long, and it's pressing forward toward your lifted knee. Now, pause here, kind of the apex of your twist. When we work with the subtle body like this, it's pretty slow and mindful. We're not like rushing through anything right now. So I want you to feel, where in your body does it feel like things are restricted from twisting? And simply you taking your awareness there is going to help the prana go there. The prana is supremely intelligent. It's part of the connection to your inner consciousness, to the spirit that breathes you. So just your awareness is going to change that area of your body. Okay, inhale, untwist. We're going to take the left knee and foot and cross it over the right. Push that bottom foot forward and see if you can drop your knee down. Now, this is not easy for a lot of people's hips, so again, you can sit up on your block or your blanket if that's useful for you. Trying to get the knees to go down instead of way up by your head. And we're just doing relatively simple poses today so that we can attend to what's going on underneath instead. So your arms can go wherever's comfortable for you. That helps you sit up straight and not lean back, right, left, forward. And maybe you just close your eyes. When we practice this kind of internal awareness, this is mindfulness, really just paying attention to what's happening in the moment without really trying to change it. We start to make these deeper connections with ourselves. So if you have a practice like that, maybe it's a calming practice or a centering practice, what do you feel? When you feel centered or aligned, or when you're in that space of no mind, when you meditate, just being present, what do you feel in your body? Okay, open your eyes again. If you're still sitting with the legs crossed in this fashion, we're going to uncross and cross the other way. So I'm drawing attention to those two things because they're connected, right? This ability to calm and center, and then to open or awaken to the inner body, those are related. We're twisting to the left now, left hand on or around or over the knee, other hand behind you on the ground, and kind of pulling in on that left leg as you twist. And again, try and keep your head back and rotate in such a way where the left and right are twisting evenly. So right side tends to shorten here. Try to keep it long. Kind of wrapping that back right side of your rib forward. And pulling the left side of the waist back. And when you hit kind of at that point of resistance, go in again. Use that mindfulness practice. Calm your mind. Observe. And then observe in your body, what's feeling stuck? What's feeling stuck in you right now? You can rearrange your posture a little bit to see if that area can become unstuck and the prana can flow there again. And that may mean you have to go deeper or less deep, or physically just change how you're sitting. Maybe you shift the ribs left or right, or you lean forward or backward. Inhale and twist. Take the left foot over the right leg and drop the knee down. So just opening the hips here is what we're trying to get to, the kind of outer legs and hips. Again, you can lift up on a blanket or a block if it's hard for you to sit in this way. And just like the hands have chakras in them, the feet do too, and we want to open the legs just like we open the arms so that the energy can move through. We call it grounding when we can send the energy down, right? So there's the visual is like we're connected on a more spiritual level, and that energy is coming from like on high, not that up is better than down, but that as it's high, as it's up high in the ether, it's a faster vibration. And as it comes into the body, it's concentrated and gets slower. And in order for us to do good spiritual work in the world, to take all this like mystical energy or even just the ideas that we have that are floating around and create with them to do the work in the world and make form, we have to be able to walk that walk. So we have to be able to get it down into the body and through the feet and stay on earth instead of just up in our heads. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, so enough with that leg position. We're going to return to sitting, but with the legs more even. So instead of that weird cross, we're going to either sit with the legs crossed out in front or straight or even tucked underneath you. We'll just do a brief moment of sitting and then we're going to lie down. So just readjust again so that your legs are a little more comfortable than they were in that weird cross position. Aligning the spine. And here's where we're going to come back to more of the visualization. So it may help to close your eyes and to turn your direction, your attention rather inward. And we're going to feel for a few things. These are more subtle. So maybe some cues from the inner body. You might feel a sense of like crookedness. What I mean by that is like when you open your eyes and you look, you can see that you're sitting like in quotes straight, like you're lined up square to the wall or your mat. But when you close your eyes, you feel like you're rotated. So if you're feeling that, you might be able to discern. It's like this nesting doll idea. Like there's the inner body and the outer body, and they're not sitting in the same alignment. So you want to move the physical to match the inner body, if that's the case for you. Now, another thing that you might feel is something like a pulsation or an undulation, like a waving. I sometimes experience when I'm meditating and sitting that I end up like rocking, and I'm not trying to. It's just like my body just starts doing that, and sometimes it's bigger than I would think it would be. And maybe you don't feel really anything like that. Maybe you feel something more like warmth or light. Or calm. Or like a heaviness, like a good kind of heavy, like you're really like here, not floating off like a balloon. And then we're going to purposefully breathe through the nose. We're going to inhale slowly, imagining that the inner body is becoming more bright, more light. And then as we exhale, the outer body can soften. It's kind of the more heavy, dark quality. Dark like rest, not like a bad thing, like a nice, cozy, sleepy room. So the inner body is full of light, of consciousness, of spirit, of wisdom. And the outer body is soft and heavy, grounded and relaxed. Open your eyes, shift again to lie on your back, and hug your knees in like you did at the beginning. I'm going to take a simple twist here, both knees to the right. Right hand on the top leg, left arm open to the side. Legs through center and over to the left. So this has been kind of a introduction to movement with the subtle body. And it's much more complex, but what I would invite you to do as you continue to move your body in yoga practice, whatever your practice may be, is to just start attending to this more subtle level. Let's bring the legs back to center. So it's really easy to start by just paying attention to your breath. Like, are you breathing? Are you holding your breath? Is your breath fast or short? And to try to let your breath kind of lead the way. Let your mind kind of soften back. Your mind's not a bad thing. It's just like it works a lot. And we're trying to shift focus a little bit to something else for a little while. Okay, so release your knees, put your feet down. Just take your either legs straight out, or you can keep the knees bent and tip your knees in on each other and rest your hands on your belly or your chest. Okay, so we're just trying to put the mind a little bit in the back seat and just make kind of that invitation for the Shakti, the prana-shakti, that's the goddess who breathes us to be here, to move the inner body. As we move in and out of poses, to feel for that alignment where there's an opening, a lightening, or a grounding, some more subtle shift or change. You may feel that vibration, the pulsation, a sense of energy, like that rising current of prana, or that grounding, that sense of earthbound energy, apana, calming, settling. Think less like you have to direct everything and just kind of open to what is. Like you prepare. It's like putting sails up on your ship, and then you let the wind blow. Start to move slowly, maybe from the hands and the feet. And when you're ready to, you can roll over to your side and come on up to sit. It's possible you feel like some euphoria or just some internal shifts. Again, this is a complex, evolved, long topic, and this is just a very small, brief bit of information, but hopefully it's been useful for you. You've learned something, and you can always request yoga topics if you want something covered in a video. Thanks again for watching and trying and learning and being aware of some of the more subtleties of yoga. I'll see you next time.